Yeah, I heard they had my car driving around. I never saw it. It was parked up wherever it was parked up, you know. But then later on, they also lost the car, you know. But yeah, so she wanted a copy. She wanted a copy of my new car. That's corrections for you. And cause they want to act like they control you because for these Jamaican cliques. Yep. And like I said before, it's not all Jamaicans are bad, not all Spanish are bad. I'm just talking about the cliques I had to deal with. Yeah, most of them was Jamaican. Well, all of them was Jamaican. The ones who was running the shit. Yeah, they was all Jamaican. And so I think back then that's when she got my car keys. Cause I couldn't understand. Cause I kept asking, who's this lady? Why she keep hanging around us? Why she keep sniffing around? Don't she have any other place to go secure? You know? And then it was the salesperson. He tried to lowball me on the trading value. Then when I told him I wanted to fix it, they want to hike it up to 8,000. I'm like 8,000 to fix a what you call it? Yeah, because they wanted it so high that I would want to trade in the car because somebody wanted that car. Ergo, I heard Chantel was driving around it with it. That's what I heard. But then later on, it broke down because somebody was looking out for me, or she crashed it, or it got crashed, or something happened to that car that she wasn't driving around. Yeah, these people they want to laugh behind your back and oh, this bitch is stupid and she don't know that I got her car. She don't know that I got her job. She don't know how I fuck her man. Oh yeah, they want to make you the laughing fucking stock. So that's why I'm not gonna be part of their fucking team. I'm not, and that's why I wasn't a part of their team. And then I was just thinking about it last night. I said, so that's why some of the girls, because after Baptiste, Anderson Baptiste, I call him Andy. That's why when Andy told my boyfriend Kirk that he can't come around here and take his girls, and then my son used to deal with this girl, very nice girl, but she always would date guys on the block. I'm like, why? She's very pretty. She's a sweetheart. Maybe they forcing these women to just mess with them. And if God forbid if she see anybody else, they go after you. Because they were doing it with me. Every time I get a man, they would um, approach the guy and threaten him and um, you know tell him not to come around the block. And yeah, because they want to deprive you of sex because they want to fuck you. This is what these guys do on my old block and probably on this block. You know, maybe they approached my ex-boyfriend and told him not to come around me, or else they're gonna do this, and then they're gonna use PD because they was using PD on me to trump up some charges on him. So I was thinking about that last night. Why would such a pretty girl just date all the guys on one fucking block? Why? I couldn't understand it. And all of them are friends. And then you, as an outsider, and you start dating a guy, and they see the guy come see you, because they never saw me with no guys. I used to meet my guys off the block. It just so happened that that one worked on the block, and I broke my rule. But he didn't live on the block because he was just passing through because he was a super slash electrician, moving from building to building for the company. And that's how we met. And then they threatened him. And then all hell broke loose. So they forcing people into drug dealing and prostitution over there. My son, he be hating when I do stuff. He be like, "Oh, Ma, you don't be seeing nobody do nothing." And da, 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 da. Yeah, because like I said, I'm the only one that's gonna be doing the snitching. My family ain't down with what I'm doing. Cause first of all, they don't believe what I'm saying, and they from the streets. They like me. They gonna see, but they not gonna say. They follow the street code. I don't. I don't. Cause me and my son always getting at it. Oh, how you gonna say that? Da, 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 da. You ain't never seen, you ain't never heard. Da, 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 da. Do you got proof? Just like dumb. That's their first thing. You got proof? Why? Because they do stuff to the camera. They do stuff to the proof, and they all in it together. So no, you never have proof. And when they use when the cops get into place, NYPD, you know, we feel people feel the NYPD is supposed to be above board, but they're not. They set you up. So that's why when I heard all this shut down the cops situation, I'm like, how you gonna do that? But now I'm like, yeah, because the white shirts are not paying attention. The because because they so busy doing other things, they got these lower statute officers and stuff running the department. And then slowly but surely they taking tests and they getting promoted and they getting higher and higher and higher. Yeah. Like the Jamaican crew, like the yeah. It's rampant up in there. They can't just work alone on DLC. They gotta have other outlets. They gotta find somebody that they can turn out. And they do. Because drugs is a thing. It's, for some reason, people think that they always have to go to drugs to make that big cash. You think all these restaurants is no, all these restaurants around here, all these Jamaican restaurants and all these little Spanish restaurants and all these little yes, drug money. How come you think they pop up so much? It's got like 1,000,001 restaurants in New York City. And then they bring the drugs through the restaurant. And they wash the money through the restaurants. Just like the Italians used to do. Yeah, it's 100,000,001 Italian restaurant serving the same thing. Pasta and red sauce. Different variation. That's why Giuliani was after them. Giuliani was like, and he's Italian. I'm not no big fan of him, but at least he was trying to clean up the city. For real, he was going after his own people. Because he know. They into some shit. So if you're Spanish, don't get offended. Prove me wrong. He went after his people. He shut down the mob, most of the mob. So if you're not part of that, do some inside research. Don't get offended. Oh, she don't like Spanish. No, I love Spanish people. I love Jamaican people. But there's some bad ones in the bunch. You got to get rid of them. And you, as a Spanish officer, and you're not part of that, you have to report them. And find out who you can report them to. And you, as a Jamaican officer or a West Indian officer, and you see these officers doing their bullshit, yes, as officers, you have to thing them down, but not when they turn into drug dealers and drug cartel protectors. No, that's dragging you into that shit, and eventually coming down to your family because they're gonna be like, well, Officer Dominguez, did you know? Did you have an inkling? Why you didn't report him? And then that brings you into the bullshit anyway. So if you're Spanish and if you're West Indian, if you're Jamaican, do some digging and report them to the higher ups. Call the investigational squad. Let them get investigating. Get them off the force. Get them. They want to be drug dealers. Go on the street and be a fucking drug dealer. You're not gonna be a drug dealer with a badge. Get them off the force. If you're Spanish and you're a good officer, get them off the fucking force. Yes, do that. Report them. Put them under investigation. Find somebody in investigations you can trust because they're moving up the ladder. And report their ass. Say, listen, I'm not, and even officers don't want to squeal on other officers. Talk to your boy or talk to your girl and say, listen, what's up with you? Why you're doing so and so? You're doing the most. Oh, well, somebody in the cartel approached me and so and so and so and so. Okay. Well, try to get out. Talk to them first if you don't want to go straight to the IG. Because they're going to give you a sad story. Meanwhile, they line in their pocket and giving drugs to kids and whatever. Report them. If you're Spanish and you're not into it, report them. If you're Jamaican and you're not into, report them. Put them in an investigation because they got the whole department looking bad. And they recruiting. They ain't making it look like, oh, she's a troubled person. Oh, she's bothering my family. How I'm bothering your family? Your family's drug dealers and they trying to control me. No. Look at all them Spanish countries. Beautiful Spanish countries. Fucked up. They messed up. Jamaica, when there's politics coming around, they want to kill each other, and then the next day they want to make the United States like that. That's why when I wasn't down for this Black Lives Matter and all these protesters and all this looting and stuff like that, I wasn't down with that. They trying to turn the United States like Jamaica and all these other countries that go through all these civil wars. Yes, all for the case of drugs. Yes. All for the case of drugs. You can protest. You can protest. You don't have to loot. You don't have to loot. Some people these idiots were saying, sometimes you're getting the frustration out of you because you looted. No, you can protest without looting. You're hurting somebody who opened a business. They didn't do nothing to you. You just want free shit. Say it as it is. You want free shit. So you know better than the cops that you're thinking after. You know better than whomever. You know better than that. So that's why I didn't even bother turning on the TV and watching them. Black Lives Matter. No, you fucking looting people's places and stuff. No, I'm not down with that. And the leaders they wasn't saying nothing better. They were saying, well, sometimes people get so frustrated they have to let it out. I'm hearing all these people on TV, all these The Views and the Real. Yes, it's so pent up in you. You don't know what else to do. Sometimes it takes water. Yeah, all this stupid nonsense. Whoopi and that Spanish chick and on The Real. Yes, the fucking other girl. Yes. Oh, well, sometimes, and I'm like, really? Sometimes violence is necessary. Sometimes thievery is necessary. So all that time, their parents raised them not to be thieves. Now it's necessary for our cause because the cops is killing our people and so and so. How about if the cops tell you to do something, like it or not, do it. Simple. I don't like it when they was coming here and I know they wasn't gonna do shit, but I listened to their commands. I know they was on the take, but I still listened to their commands. Miss G, I put it down. Miss G, do this. You cannot go in your house. You cannot do that. I listened. I was mad. Yes, I was pissed off. But I listened. How about just listening to the commands that they give you? Because what's his name was drunk. He was high. The other guy in the car listened to everything. He was paranoid because he was on drugs. So the white shirts in NYPD need, y'all need to do stuff. Y'all need to look over these reports that these officers is giving. When a call is coming in, you need to make sure that they think the call. I don't know if you have the white shirts walking around the neighborhood and checking on the call. Check on the one, pick a call and go to the call and say, go to the person's home and say, well, did my officers handle your issue or whatever the case may be? Because if you leave it up to them, they're going to be like, yeah, everything is all right. She's just a pain in the ass. And then, meanwhile, it's something personal. Because when I broke my legs and stuff, I don't know what they put in the report. When they was messing up when they messed up my car, the Kings and the Haitians and everybody. I don't know what I don't not the Kings, the Bloods messed up my car. I don't know what that police officer or those police officers did, because I was asking them for a report. I was asking them not for a report. I was asking them to go question the people I saw messing up my car, and they didn't. They didn't go near, but they knew what was going on. They didn't tell me until later on I found out. They said they had proof. I said, show it to me. I said, proof of what? What are you accusing me of? You accusing me of doing something? It's later on I found out the thing. What are you... Not once did they go over there and question them and say, why are you messing up Miss So-and-so's car? Why are you messing up her house? Because they knew they all part of it. They all part of it. That fat one and the rest of them, all of them. The Indian one, all of them. Because my neighbor has an Indian brother-in-law. All of them, they be smuggling drugs. All in the baby stuff. You understand? These people always revert back to drugs. And if you as an NYPD officer or captain or whatever title you're in, the same thing with correction. If you're not part of that, have these people under investigation. What would it hurt you? Call IG. Tell the wardens, because they're looking for dirt on the wardens. They're looking for dirt for anybody above, warden and above, because they gunning for those posts. So these wardens have to put these people under investigation. Look through their records. You can look through mine and see if I was lying about all that stuff. You can ask the find out who's the warden of when they transferred me, who's the warden, and pull them aside and ask them what the hell was going on. Did this really happen? You can tell me. I'm not going to report it. I just want to know for myself. Because this officer is claiming all these top brass is on the taking and drug dealers. Were you part of that? Were they trying to recruit you, or did they scare you into submission? Not you doing stuff, to let them do stuff. These women, yes, mostly women. Yes. It's mostly women. That's why, I'm like, I don't want no woman leader. I'm a woman. I don't, because women, please, they're very devious. They're very devious. They don't know how to leave personal as personal. They don't make great leadership. I'm not saying men don't do it, but mostly women. They they use their title, and the men follow along after they get coaxed through the women, from the women. Yep. So NYPD need to get their act in order. Y'all officers who's clean, y'all need to put these other officers in under investigation. Let them find out. They find out when they go home how they got their house, what money they use. They got one thing here. She just plopped herself in the house and called the house her called the house her house. She didn't pay for it. You know, they all over. So if you're Spanish and you get offended by me saying NYPD is run by Latin kings and the Spanish officers are crooked and stuff like that, prove me wrong. If you're one of them that's not crooked, have these people go on the investigation. If you go on my IG page, I'm going to put their pictures up. Start with them. Because if you transfer them, it's good if you transfer them because I can't deal with none of them. They won't do it. If God forbid if anything happen, and get them off the force. Find out what they investigate them. Investigate them. Ask around. Ask other officers. Is officer so and so trying to recruit you to do something? To do something, whatever. Piece by piece. Piece by piece. You know? Find out. Sniff around. Because we as officers, we don't want to know another officer is crooked. We protect our own. We protect, yeah, as correction officers, we protect our other correction officers. And I know NYPD do the same. But sometimes you have to get out that mode. Sometimes they force these drug dealers into dealing their drugs, like L.A. Larry, ergo Larry King, the one up in the Bronx they was running after. Yeah, he was right. The officers was out to kill him because he was telling the business. They was forcing him to deal drugs. Yes, I believe him. I believed them back then, and I wasn't so into the law as um before. Now I believed them. He was working for the cops, and he was saying a bit too much, so the cops was out to kill him. Yes, they were saying a suicide by cop. No, it's murder by cops. He was just telling the truth, and it's just him by himself. And they were showing him that, oh, there's no way you can run. Like I said, they use you. Then when they've done with you, they throw you away. So all these people who they recruiting, all these people who's listening and they were trying to recruit you, this is what they're gonna do you. They're gonna Larry King you. Is it King? What was his name? That kid up in the Bronx back in the day. I think in the 80s or something, or the 90s. They, there was a manhunt out on him. Yep, cop was out. The cops was out to kill him because he was working for the cops, and I guess he no longer wanted to work for the cops. Yep. So now it got everybody shook. Everybody think that if a cop approach you or if a cartel approach you, you got to give in because they're gonna come after you or they come after your family. No, you don't have to go give in. Set them up. Call DEA on their fucking ass. Shut the family down. Shut them down. Don't call NYPD. Call DEA. Find a number, do something. Find out a way how you can get in touch with DEA, yes. Or some other city agency within the law. Something. Don't get into that. Don't be scared of these fucking cartels and shit. They need you more than they need you. Because they keep recruiting. But the thing is, they need you, but then when they're done with you, they want to kill you. Yeah, they don't want you to live in. You're not living like them. You watch all these shows about the cartels. They family is the one who's living in the mansion and stuff like that. And even the underlings and they soldiers who's working for them is not really living that good. They get a couple of dollars. They gonna please. So that's why, back in the day, when and even up till now, these governments, our government, the United States of America, is taking a whole bunch of billions and billions of dollars for these countries like Haiti and Mexico and all these other little Spanish countries to help them fight the war on drugs. And these people didn't want the help. They was helping the cartels. And now the cartels are so strong and running over their lives and forcing them into stuff. They upset now. They crying, oh, I'm running from the car. But y'all helped them get that strong, because when we was trying to come down there and break them up while they was weak and young, y'all didn't want the help. Y'all didn't want the help. Y'all was protecting them. Y'all was protecting these goddamn cartels and hiding them out and not telling their secrets and not telling where the drugs is being grown and all that stuff. Now I was helping them and still helping them. So now they turning against you, they people, and turning your country upside down. Y'all want to run at the border and come up in here to do what? Turn the United States into a drug den? So we got y'all, we got the Jamaicans, we got all these other countries, the Russians with their pills, we got the Chinese with they, everybody want to come here and turn it up, but y'all want to politically turn it up. Y'all and the Jamaicans, y'all want to politically turn this country into countries like Jamaica and Mexico and some of these other, where if they people is not in office, it's going to be a civil war, because they trying to run the United States into the ground, make this place a drug den. It was getting cleaned up, but now you want people in presidency where you can control them. And since Trump wasn't listening to nobody, he was doing his own thing. Y'all wanted Trump out. He wasn't racist and prejudiced before. All of y'all was on the Trump bandwagon. All of a sudden, he's racist, and because y'all digging shit up that's not even there. His father was racist. Okay, so back in the day, wasn't your mother and your father racist? And then you grow up to see that all white people is not the same, all Jewish people is not the same. Oh yeah, being black. Oh yes, my family wasn't racist because we have white and anything in a race. I didn't learn it from my. Yes, back in the day, I was very militant, pro-black, blaming it on everybody, because this is what the black community was doing. They was pointing fingers at all the white people, saying it's their fault, it's their fault, it's their fault. How long you gonna blame other white people? And then me as a grown up, I went to college and all that stuff, and I realized everybody's the same. Everybody has bad people in their family. Everybody has bad people in their you know being black and Italian. Yeah, there's some bad Italians, bad black people. Yeah, you learn that as you grow up. So maybe when he grew up, he didn't do like his father did, because you did something different than your parents. They grew up prejudiced, being born in the 40s and the 50s, being raised up in the 60s and seeing all black people getting beat up, and they was hating on white people and stuff like that. You grew out of it, so how come Trump can't grow out of it? How come other people can't grow out of it? But no, you wanted to have something on him, and you wanted to have and you want to have somebody that you can control. Because they want to move up the ladder. So, yeah, go to Jamaica when it's election time and see what kind of nonsense goes on over there. Poor people killing poor people in the fucking ghettos. And then each block in Kingston, I heard, never been to the country. Each block in Kingston, I heard, has its own facet. And if you get off that block, they can kill you. Because each block is selling drugs to their people. So they trying to control it. So they coming down here in the jail system, in the PD department, in Justice Department, in every department, and want to turn the United States into their country. People be going on vacation in Mexico. Why? People running out of Mexico. I'm like, why should I run to Mexico for vacation? Why should I go to these countries and they're in civil war? Oh, go to Africa. Why? Black people run Africa and Africa is in turmoil. I'm not going to go vacation in a place where black people is fighting black people and then you come to the United States and then you want to blame white people. You're in control over there and you beating up on each other. Why am I going to Mexico when they always want to kidnap somebody and torture somebody and force somebody into bringing their drugs? One time I was watching a TV show and this white kid got caught for bringing drugs because they forced him into bringing the drugs. And now the poor guy is in jail. He just went on vacation. He got off the boat and he ventured into town. Like most tourists, they want to see the real, thing part. They just don't want to see the touristy part. Yes, the white kid, he went in, and I'm using the white kid as a thing because it was a show on it, so you can look it up. But it happens to everybody. It happens to blacks. It happens to the women. Yeah, they sit at those ports and see who they can threaten to bring in their drugs. So he probably ventured out too far. They caught up with him. And he became a drug mule. They wanted him to bring his drugs on board. And he got caught. And he's sitting in a jail. Yeah, why should I run to Mexico for fucking vacation? You crazy? And these vacation people, what do you call these people who you buy airline tickets from? They won't tell you don't go to these countries because they trying to sell tickets. Yeah, when you go to these countries, yeah, they trying to see if they can force you into being a fucking drug mule. They take your passport, they do this, they do that. Yeah, they threaten your family. Oh yes. If you don't take our drugs, we gonna kill your mother. You're gonna kill your son. You're gonna kill you. Yeah, they do that. So I'm gonna run over there for vacation to get relief of my headache for a little while. Take a week to go over. No, hell no. They got people running from Mexico to come here over the border. Remember the border? Why should I run to them for vacation? So when I hear all these housewives and all these, we going to Mexico, we going to Acapulco, we going to what's the other part of Mexico? We going so and so. Hell no.